Hello everyone, and welcome back to WolfQuest, and we are here with Shaster and Aspen, who are currently hunting, and whoa, that's some bird noise, but they're currently hunting for their puppies, and they're just about to do a little bit of hunting on the way to the summer rendezvous site, but let's see how many times I can say hunting in one sentence. But we are just going to make sure that they have enough food for their puppies. And there has actually been a small game update. When I logged in, I got a ton of achievements because as of now, oh gosh, there's the bull elk. She dragged us right towards him. But there has actually been a minor update, and this update introduces Aspen, you are going the wrong way. It actually introduces a rank system based off experience points, and I believe now if you die, you lose experience. So, basically what it is to deter the mass dying that often goes on in multiplayer games, the just being completely reckless and dying and then immediately respawning. So there are now penalties for dying. I'm not sure if they apply in single player, but they are supposed to apply in multiplayer, and you can actually lose a fair bit of experience if you die. So it's a lot more important now to be very careful to not just haphazardly go dying as you're trying to hunt or whatever, because especially with the moose, that was the preferred method of taking him down, was just dying repeatedly and then respawning until you managed to take it out. So there have been some changes to that, and then there have also been experience point ranks. So you can now earn different titles and such not, I'm just letting my stamina recover, based off how much experience your wolf has. So that is pretty cool. That is an incentive as well to help keep people from, again, dying constantly. Oh, I don't want Aspen to attack this elk anymore because we want to get it across. And, but yeah, so that is some new fun things that have been added to help make it a little more realistic, because that has been quite a common thing that goes on, is a lot of the constant dying that happens in multiplayer games. So it'll be a little bit, what in the world, Aspen? I think she got a little bit excited. I think she got a little bit excited there. She is just going in circles. Oh my goodness. But so that's just kind of a little something that is supposed to help improve the multiplayer experience, and I think it does apply to single player too. It applies to your wolf's experience overall. So actually when I logged in, it immediately started dinging and dinging and dinging with all the experience, or not the experience, with all the achievements I was getting. I got 2 or 3 of them because they also fixed one of the moose achievements that was broken. So yeah, there have been quite a few little minor little additions. It's not episode 3 yet. That's the episode that was announced that is supposed to be the sequel to the Slaw Creek mission here, which is actually a continuation where your puppies will get older and you have to train them and such not. That will be coming much later. There's no set release for that. But this is just kind of a little minor update along the way. Now we want to chase this elk. I'm trying to be very careful so we don't bring her down too early, because we want to, and did we end up killing one? No, we need to kill one near the herd too, but we'll go ahead and chase her this way. And I'm spacing them a little further apart this time because it is going to be a pretty easy litter, so we don't have to bring down quite as many elk. But it is still a good idea to have quite a few if possible. Now, Shaster is not the heir to Katari and Tarrell. I've said this in the previous episodes. I'm just going to say it again because if any of you guys are new, I want to keep you updated with what's going on. So Shaster is actually not the heir to Katari and Tarrell. He is just a wolf we'll be following for one litter, him and his mate Aspen here. So we'll be following him for one litter, and depending on what happens in this litter, even though he isn't the heir, his story may have a chance to impact the heir's story, depending on, or one of the other side stories, depending on who the heir is, depending on what exactly goes on. Now, that's the thing about these side stories, is sometimes they can lead, depending on how they end up, they could potentially start to lead to other stories that may coincide with or somehow influence the main story. So these side stories are equally important. No, don't go this way. Why is she going this way? Ah! But these side stories are equally important to the stories that we have with our heir and the main wolves that we are following. So just because Shaster is not the heir does not mean that what he does here will not have an impact on whoever the heir ends up to be. So keep that in mind. Just because Shaster's not the heir doesn't mean that he's not important and that he may not play a perhaps even a large role in what goes on with the heir when we find out who that is. Now, the heir has not been chosen. We are still voting the poll. The polls will be open all through Shaster's side story, and if it ends on a weekend, like I'm assuming it probably will, based off how long these things usually take, then we will actually be, I'm going to let the elk start to come back a little bit, because Shaster needs to regain his stamina. Then the poll will be open until Monday, and that will give a lot more time for people to vote, because there were quite a few votes over the weekend, but people were voting right up to the last minute, so I wanted to give them more of a chance to leave the polls open. We have about 10 votes right now. We had about 14 on the other poll, but I'm hoping some more people will be able to come in and get involved since the poll has been open longer. So if you have not voted, make sure you go ahead and do that, because your vote is important, and one vote could be the difference between the wolf we choose as an heir or what happens with that. It could be as simple as one vote. So if you haven't voted already, make sure you go ahead and do that, because it is very important. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to kill one elk in the hunting ground, and then we're going to head back and mark our territory and get ready to have the puppies, because we will be welcoming them quite soon, probably by the end of this episode. In fact, I'm almost certain we'll be welcoming them by the end of this episode. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. But you may have also noticed that it is night, and if you are wondering about that, it is night because that is Shaster's challenge. He must always play at night because, as you can see, he is very dark in coloration, and because he's a very reclusive and sort of secretive wolf, he feels a lot more comfortable in the shadows where it's harder to see him. And there is a random elk here. I think her herd may have despawned, but for some reason she didn't. Okay. That works, in any case. We'll just bring her down right here, and hopefully, oh, and she's gonna take off running, so I don't want her to go too far, though. So, we have those carcasses, and then we have a carcass that is over there more. So, yeah, we kind of want her just in this area. Now, puppies don't get hungry nearly as fast as they do on the harder difficulties in Pretty Easy, so we don't need quite as many elk as we did on the harder difficulties, and that is Shaster's special ability, is that he can actually play on one difficulty easier. So, because this is his first litter, and it will be his only litter because he is a side story wolf, he will have the ability, or he will be playing on the Pretty Easy difficulty instead of challenging like most wolves do on their first litter. And that is the progression that we followed with Katari and Tarrell. Now, wolves in this have, the heir will have 4 litters, and presumably the side story wolves will have multiple litters of their own as well, but we only follow them for the first one. So we'll only be with Shaster for this litter, and but depending on what happens in this litter, he may be able to impact the story of the heir, as I have said before. But as I was saying, his challenge is that it must be night all the time, and that does add some benefits, like there won't be ravens on the carcass, but it makes it a little bit more difficult for us to see, such as if an eagle comes at night, it makes it harder to see the shadow, and cougars are more likely to spawn at night, and we have seen many times how difficult cougars can be. And in fact, poor Aspen here has horrible memories as a puppy of a cougar that stalked her family. She was actually raised by Katari, which is Shaster's mom, and Kea, another one of our in one of our community events. But she is not their puppy. She was a puppy they raised because they found her after both her parents had died, and she and her litter mates were raised by them in that community event. But during that community event, we actually had a cougar that stalked us all the way from the den to the river, which it was this den, so that is quite the distance. So Aspen has some not so good memories of that. Probably doesn't like cougars so much. I'm sure Shaster doesn't either. He had a run-in with one of them on Amethyst Mountain. So I'm sure he doesn't quite like them either, and there will be more cougars at night. So it could be a little bit interesting. Now we have some carcasses right here. I'm not overly concerned because it's pretty easy, and on the pretty easy difficulty, you're usually able to hunt if you have to. So I'm hoping this will be enough carcasses because we may also have some that spawn just during the course of gameplay. We have several down here. So we are going to go ahead, we're going to mark our territory, and once we have done that, we will have puppies, and I'll have to get my name sheet up to see, because we will be naming them off the list of names that you guys have given, even though they aren't the heirs. And don't worry, we may see some of them again. Depending on how things happen, there might be a random chance that we could bump into them in other stories, even if whether or not we see them, or whether we perhaps say they are just there in the background, or whether we happen to run into a wolf on Amethyst Mountain that looks a lot like them, and we say that is one of the side story wolves. So, or one of the side story puppies, probably more likely. So it could be kind of interesting, and these guys will definitely have an impact on the stories of the other wolves. And that, of course, all does depend on whether or not we can keep the puppies alive. So we will be trying our very best. You can see Aspen over there helping us keep the territory marked. And we have to get it up to about 90% before it will let us have puppies. And we will be keeping it night this whole time because, as I've said, that is Shaster's challenge. So we're just going to go ahead and keep peeing on everything because that's a lot of how wolves communicate is through scent. And so their urine scent has... I believe it's distinct for every wolf and that's why, like, if you have a dog and you take them for a walk and they're wanting to sniff all the fire hydrants or peeing on the fire hydrants, they're leaving their scent there for other dogs to find, and they are checking to see what scents are there already to see who passed through. So scent is a big part of canine communication that isn't so big for humans. I mean, can you imagine if, like, humans went around sniffing each other? That'd be really weird. Oh, and we have our puppies! Okay, alright, so we have 3 males and 1 female. Let me get our puppy names list up here. And let's see, so the males are going to be, I have to go through the list here. Let's see. We are going to have, Ruska. We are going to have, let's see, Lokir. And we are going to have, Alistair. Oops. And the female is actually going to be a little bit special because if you remember, if you guys saw the community special, Aspen had 2 sisters and a brother, but one of her sisters was actually taken by an eagle on the journey and died, and that was Myra. And so in honor of her, because Aspen is the mother, Aspen actually named one of her puppies after Myra, the only female. And so let us hope tragedy does not repeat itself. And we'll have to see if these guys can get all the puppies safely to the summer hunting grounds. Now, none of these wolves will be the heirs. We're going to go ahead, train our puppies. We're going to be playing on pretty easy. And we're going to go ahead and start training these guys. And almost all of them look a lot like... Oh, almost all of them look a lot like Shaster. Alistair, I think, takes a little bit more after Aspen, who is gray, and we are missing a puppy. Lokir. Lokir, do not do that. That is not a good thing. If you wander away, you get into trouble. But we actually have Myra, who is named after her aunt, who was taken by an eagle as a puppy. Aspen's gonna go get some food, it looks like. So, and I should go fill up my puppy food bar. But right now... Oh no, Myra, please don't wander away. Please don't wander away. Oh, that's actually what... Well, her aunt didn't necessarily wander away, but got separated from the others when an eagle came, and Katari was not able to get there in time, and Kea was too far away to do anything about it, so the eagle grabbed her and ran off with her. So, or it flew off with her. So, oh my gosh, Ruska. I hope I'm pronouncing some of these names right, too. So, if I'm pronouncing them wrong, I am sorry. Whoa! Whoa! We have jumping puppies. Lokir, stay near the den, please. Yeah, Alistair definitely takes more after his mother. He's a little bit lighter in color, and the others are all a little bit more like, oh my gosh, Lokir. Looks like Lokir may be one of the ones who likes to wander off. Lokir and Ruska, perhaps, are the ones that like to wander off more. And Aspen actually was that wolf, so it looks like, oh gosh, predators. It looks like a lot of them are kind of taking after their mom. So I'm actually gonna run and perhaps get some food. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. Oh, no, I'm not gonna get some food. There's a coyote, there's a coyote, there's a coyote, there's a coyote, there's a coyote. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, that scared me, because that is almost exactly what happened to, or when Rayra was killed, was a coyote came running in and Katari wasn't able to turn around in time, and the coyote got her. Got Rayra. So that was a little bit scary. Oh gosh. I'm hoping we are far enough away from the den now. I didn't see the pop-up, but I may have just missed it. So hopefully it did not fail to register, but okay, good, there it goes. Okay. It just is a little bit delayed. Now, this carcass is upwards from where we want to travel, and there's the elk herd. So I'm going to go and eat this one first, because we are not going to be using it on the way to the summer hunting ground, and as long as we are able to eat from the further away carcasses, it is good to do so that you're not stuck with starving puppies and a long run for food. So, but like I said last time, there may be something special that goes on with this litter, and that actually has to do with Myra. So, if Myra survives, she may actually play a part in later side stories or even in the heir storyline, depending on how things happen. So we are going to be trying to get all the puppies there. We're not going to pay special attention to Myra just because she could have an impact on the story later if she makes it. But if she does make it, then she may play an interesting role in future stories, and I do have kind of a unique idea for that. So stay tuned for that. We'll have to see. It all, of course, does depend on whether... Oh, there's a bear. It might depend very strongly on whether or not we can chase this bear away, because it could all end here if this bear decides to come after our puppies, which it seems like it's doing. So we're going to circle around it. Apparently the puppies are safe. They don't seem very safe. There's a bear standing right here. Alright, we're going to just charge in and bite it, and there we go. Okay, the bear's gone. Now, we are going to feed the puppies. Ruska and Myra. And Lokir, I think you're a little hungrier. I think Aspen may have fed some of the other ones. And Alistair. So, it's kind of fun how the pups develop distinct personalities. I think this Myra is a little bit more adventurous than her aunt was. The Myra we had, who was taken by an eagle, was very, very calm and laid back and was one of the only pups who didn't wander away. This one seems a little bit more adventurous, like Lokir and Ruska. I think Alistair is the calmer pup in this litter. Alistair is the one who looks like his mom, which is kind of ironic because Aspen was the crazy hyperactive one who's like always gone and always like, Aspen, where are you? You do a head count and you're missing a puppy, and it's usually Aspen. So, and it looks like a lot of these puppies have kind of taken after their mom. So, and oh, Lokir and Alistair were playing. That is so cute. I cannot get over how cute this game is sometimes. Oh my goodness. And what is back? Like I said, playing. Hey, how come the time changed too? Okay. Okay. We're going to deal with the cougar. And then we're going to change it back to night because I just realized the time changed. And oh my gosh. It just, like, okay, Aspen, I need your help, Aspen. Aspen. Oh, gosh. Oh, no, I didn't want to pick up Alistair. Oh, my gosh. Cougar. And we don't, oh, gosh. And I guess we just got the young hunter rank. Oh, gosh. Hey, don't run through my puppies when you're fleeing, please. Oh, good. Okay, now we gotta grow our pups. I'm gonna go get food because Shaster is almost dead. And that is not a good thing. And if that cougar comes back... Oh, but okay. Also, we are going to rest because somehow it changed back to daytime. And Shaster is supposed to only play at night. So, don't worry, you guys. We're not going to make him restart just because that little... that it momentarily changed itself back. But from now on, we will be playing at night. And hopefully it won't change the time of day on us again. Because I just completely forgot for a second because I thought it was going to stay night. But yeah, we're not going to make him replay all of that. We're just going to go on from there. And probably that cougar was a warning to him that he needs to play at night and needs to not venture out in the daytime as much. So, yeah. We will be keeping it night from now on. That was a little oops on my part. But we'll go ahead. We will eat up this carcass here. And if Shaster dies, we will go and end up playing as Aspen, now that we have puppies, and we will try and raise the puppies alone in multiplayer, because you can create private games and play by yourself. And raise the puppies by yourself that way. So if Shaster were to die, which hopefully he will not, that is what we would do. But hopefully we will be able to keep him alive. So, we'll head back. And let's see. And there's probably going to be something, so I'm going to kind of come up from this hill and kind of take a look and see. That is one disadvantage, is it can be harder to see stuff at night. That's a stranger wolf. That is a stranger wolf. Oh my gosh, that is not good. That is a stranger wolf. Oh my gosh, did we get it chased off? Is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? Okay, pups are safe inside the den. We chased it off. Okay, good. I'm gonna get a little food here. Just because it's a close carcass, but we're not gonna eat too much. And I want to make sure I get puppies fed. They're all resting pretty quietly, so that's a good thing. And we'll feed Ruska. And we'll feed Alistair. And if you guys have puppy names, feel free to suggest them. It's funny, I actually have a surplus of female names, but I do not have nearly as many male names, and we keep getting litters. Look here, what were you doing? But we keep getting litters with quite a few male puppies and not nearly as many female puppies. So I'm going to just run and mark territory real fast, because that stranger wolf is an indication that our territory has dropped too low. And I'm also going to howl to raise the pack affinity, because that will both mark territory and bump that blue bar up, and the blue bar is supposed to affect how much the puppies will wander and how much they'll tend to stay near the den. So if they can stay more near the den, that would be excellent, because that means they are less likely to wander away and get snatched by something. And that is the difficulty with this game, is if a puppy wanders off, it can very easily be snatched. That was what happened with Rayra. She was a little ways away, and the other three puppies were all right there with Katari, but Katari couldn't turn around fast enough to get back to Rayra before the coyote got her. And that is actually why we lost Rayra. So it is very important to keep all the puppies close. That was also what happened with Hurricane. Katari had to go chase the coyote, an eagle came, and Hurricane was taken. And Shaster did witness that, but he wasn't Hurricane's litter mate. So if well, probably when, because both, oh my gosh, Aspen, don't do that, you scared me badly. Because both of Hurricane's littermates, there we go. Oh, there's Coyote. Are probably going to have side stories at some point, because they've both been doing pretty well in the polls. They're in this final poll, and it's almost complete certainty that all 5 of those wolves will have side stories at some point. So for one of their litters, whether they are the heir or whether they get a side story, we will name the puppies after some of their siblings who didn't make it. But since Shaster is not a litter mate, we will reserve that. I can't even talk right now, I'm so sorry. We'll reserve that honor for them. But we are actually, I'm going to break the episode off here. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. I am going to be shortening the episode lengths, because from my analytics, it seems like a lot of people don't watch through the whole episode, and that's okay. I mean, people have short attention spans nowadays. I know I do, but oh my gosh, there's a bear. So, I will be starting to do a little bit shorter episodes. Oh my gosh. Okay, Shaster, we gotta get you food. We are gonna get some food here, and then we're gonna break off for this episode. So I'll be shortening the episodes a little bit, just because if people aren't gonna watch the whole thing, then maybe I need to break it down into maybe almost more bite-sized pieces for them. So, I mean, if you guys want me to shorten the episodes too, just feel free to tell me that. I definitely want to be listening to you guys, but I will be shortening them a little bit for now. So I'm going to break the episode off here. We will have to see how these guys do next time, but until then, this is Jay, over and out. I'll see you guys later.